Azeroth: A History is recorded in Treaty 1 territory, the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation.
Welcome to Azeroth: A History, a look into the history of Azeroth and how it pertains to World of Warcraft today. I'm your co-host, Bam Bam Anderson.
And I'm your co-host, Winota Stark, aka Senppai. That's right, I'm going by my chosen name now.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Alright. So, here we go. Last time we talked a little bit about the Lich King, but we didn't get into a lot of a deep dive.
No deep diving today.
No. Well, last time.
Yesterday's today.
Today's the deep dive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, sorry for the sound quality change. I did a bad.
Yes, you did.
They. But yeah, I did a bad. So we're in a different sound booth with a different mic, and it's different.
It's like cozy, a little cramped. I'm channeling my inner Harry Potter.
Fuck yeah! I guess I'm also channeling my inner... You know what I saw at the store when I went to go get water? A Harry Potter thing with, like, young Harry. Like, little Harry. Like, first Harry.
A little baby Harry.
Yeah, I don't know why that's still going out, but it's still going out. Anyways. And so, given how short our episode was last time, though, we probably could have done a little bit more of a deep dive, but it's fine! Because I didn't want to focus on the Lich King.
Who wants to focus on the Lich King? We do. Well, today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do now. So, I mentioned before he became the Lich King, ner'zhul was tricked, but I didn't talk about how. So we get to go into that today.
Ooh.
And we talked about how great his connection was to the ancestors before all of that, and yeah. One very important thing to know before we kind of get into all this is that ner'zhul was married to R'ulkan.
Oh my.
Yeah.
A little romance.
Yeah, and then she died 9 years before the Legion discovered Draenor.
Okay.
And she was one of the spirits that would speak to him quite regularly. And bring him comfort.
Aw,
yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Kind of like how I wish certain ghosts in my life would, instead of fucking with my cat. But someone I didn't mention the last time is Gul'dan, who was ner'zhul's apprentice.
Yes.
Gul'dan is an orc who didn't have any clan, and he kind of, like, made his way over to the Shadowmoon clan and sort of fit himself in, we'll say.
Just found him a niche.
Yeah.
Where his ass could sit nicely.
Yeah, pretty much.
If I fits, I sits, and all that.
He was also working, though, with kil'jaeden already at the time.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So he's already with the Legion. So great. And he actually lied through his teeth about his history when he got there too.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to.
Yep. And we won't go into that today because Gul'dan deserves his own episode. There's a whole bunch more shit that he did. But yeah, he lied through his fucking teeth. It's so bad. This is all actually really key to how kil'jaeden also tricked ner'zhul in the first place. Gul'dan used fel energy to piss off the elemental spirits.
Oh my!
Threw everything out of balance, and everything cut off contact with ner'zhul.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that so mean?
Oh my, yeah. That's some choices.
Yep. And then so finally, R'ulkan visited ner'zhul in his dreams, except. It was kil'jaeden.
Oh.
Yeah, using her image. And that's how he tricked him into like, siding with the Legion.
That's fucked up.
That's so mean.
It's like...
Using the image of his dead wife. God.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like some manipulation 101 right there.
Yep. And then he used the threat of the Draenei on Draenor to kind of get ner'zhul into taking up the title of the War Chief of the Orcish Horde. Yeah. It's great. When ner'zhul finally got to turn away... Ooh, that's lint in my pocket. When ner'zhul finally got to turn away from kil'jaeden's influence, he traveled to Oshu'gun, where the real R'ulkan was like, fuck you.
Fuck you!
Pretty much. And, like, all of the ancestors were like, you were deceived, and we don't give a shit anymore, and turned their backs on him.
Oh!
So, first, he gets left by the elementals
Yeah.
because of Gul'dan.
Aww.
And then, because he was tricked, all of his ancestors are like, you can't make it.
Aww.
So,
Aww. Heartbreaking.
poor ner'zhul. He's kind of sad. He's kind of a sad story here. Later on, I don't like him, but here he's sad. This is when Gul'dan. Hi, words. This is when Gul'dan and kil'jaeden sort of took him out, not killing him yet, but they took the power from him, and Gul'dan was in the top seat. We're gonna skip a few things here because they're not very important to this bit of the story, but they're important to other bits later on that we'll talk about later. Then we get to ner'zhul trying to betray kil'jaeden again and escape Draenor through the portals. First thing when he opened the portals, he had to tap into an immense power to do it, and it actually ripped apart the planet.
Oh my gosh.
And it created Outland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like Outback? Like the steakhouse?
No.
With maybe some bloomin' onions? Because, that sounds delicious.
That sounds so much more delicious than what it is. No, this is where we get to go back in Burning Crusade.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
completely different than Outback Steakhouse. No bloomin' onions. Although you could probably make some while you're playing it.
Yeah, but then your keyboards and shit get all greasy.
That's why you have Kleenex on the side. Am I the only one that actually plays with napkins and stuff and wipes my hands occasionally? My keyboard is still pretty nasty. I'm not going to deny this. Alright, so kil'jaeden doing his thing, trap ner'zhul through Frozen Throne, blah blah blah. Something that wasn't in my notes before was there was a full suit of armor actually crafted to be in that Frozen Throne.
Okay.
So it's basically just a big chunk of ice around a
giant set of armor.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also with a sword. There's also a sword in there.
Ooh, so it's kind of like Iron Man meets King Arthur.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
If you besmirch the name of Iron Man again, I'm going to smack you.
Yes, Daddy.
Today on Azeroth, a king story.
It's always a king story if I'm involved.
Okay. Fuck, this is gonna be so hard to edit later. I'll have you know that every time I have to edit, the parts where you make me laugh this hard, I also have to laugh that hard when it happens. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm weak.
That's good. I'm laughing you through the screen.
And then I also do it again when I'm listening to it later. So I mentioned that he turned Arthas. There's a lot more to that story that we haven't gone into.
Cool.
So first, let's talk about Arthas himself.
Wait, hold on. Did I literally just make a King Arthur joke and now we're talking about somebody named Arthas? This is so good. This is divine.
And I mentioned last time that Arthas is a different variation of the name Arthur.
Right? Whoop!
Yeah!
Jokes that come around!
You nerd. I love it. Alright, so we're going to talk about Arthas. So he's the prince in the era of the Lordaeron throne.
Okay.
Born 4 years before the opening of the Dark Portal. Very peaceful time. None of the trolls are really invading in this part of the world.
Cool. Yeah, get back, trolls. Keep your business.
Yeah, and all the human kingdoms were doing pretty well, and were very friendly.
Cool.
Now, part of the First War did include the destruction of South Stormwind in the south.
South Stormwind in the south.
I can't talk, okay? And I keep writing things really weird, and then my brain is trying to put them together, and it's not working.
Have
so
you
the
tried
southernmost human kingdom.
proofreading?
Yes. No.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Proofread.
Yeah, maybe I should hire somebody to help me do that. Anyways.
It can't be me.
No, it can't be you.
Outsource.
Yeah.
Get somebody else to be your bitch.
I gotta get somebody else to do this who plays WoW so that they know what's going on. A lot of citizens of Stormwind traveled to Lordaeron, including Prince Varian Wryn, and the two of them became friends.
Oh, Prince boys! I smell a Yahweh.
No, Yowie. Sorry. At the end of the Second War, Prince Varian went home back to Stormwind after they rebuilt it, and Arthas lost the only person he could talk to about the situation he was in.
Secret Yowai.
I mean, hey, maybe. I have some stories to tell you later, though, that I'm so excited about. It's going to be a while before we get to them, though.
Ooh, anticipation!
With the now current King of Stormwind.
Oh.
And a dragon boy.
See? It just runs in the blood.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to tell you that story. Oh dear. All right. So it was through Varian as well as murdered Bronzebeard that Arthas actually learned to fight. And he also learned the ways of the light from Uther the Lightbringer, later on becoming a Knight of the Silver Hand at 19.
Knight of the Silver Hand?
Yeah, so Order of Paladins.
I'm pretty sure that's the Order of the Wormtails.
That's a different thing that I don't know what that's from.
Wormtail had a silver hand after he cut it off to help resurrect Voldemort, and Voldemort was like, you did good. Here's a silver one instead.
Hey, Luke Skywalker also had a silver hand. Because it was metal. It was the same hand.
Wormtail is Luke Skywalker!
No! We can't. No!
Panic.
No.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker would not be that cowardly.
Too late.
No.
I said it, so
No.
it's real.
No.
Take that, you sister kisser.
No. I'm not letting you besmirch the name of Luke Skywalker either.
You gotta let me besmirch the name of something. You got too many
Take
your
ner'zhul.
list is too long of
Take ner'zhul.
unbesmirchable.
Take ner'zhul, take gul'dan. So far, those are the names that we've done so far. Actually, you could also take Arthas. Go ahead. Take Arthas. So, now a paladin and the crown prince. Over the years, he also met Jaina Proudmoore and escorted her over to Dalaran, where she would learn to become a sorceress.
Ooh, a proud sorceress, I get. More proud.
Oh, yeah. And she's fucking powerful.
I do love me a powerful woman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you'd love Jaina. You'd love Jaina. The two would later fall in love, become engaged publicly with both their parents' blessings.
Aww.
She's also a noble.
Heteronormativity.
Yeah.
How quaint.
I mean,
And outdated.
I've got some hopes for the future, but we'll get there. This was also broken off by Arthas so that they could both focus on their own commitments before finding each other again a little later on.
Does that work out? Because in my experience, I really love you and this is a great relationship. I just want to take some time to figure out me, you know? Doesn't it work out with you all getting back together?
Let's get a little more into the story. Because that's not where it ends, obviously. Jaina and Arthas were sent to investigate the plague that was turning the people into scourge, and on their way back to Lordaeron, they stopped at a town where some of the grain had been distributed.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So Jaina went off to find Uther.
Okay.
And come back to this town, where the town was destroyed and Arthas was forever changed.
Oh.
And I think this is kind of
Trauma.
the beginning of his fall, yeah.
That PTSD will get you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So then, this is when they finally travel to Stratholme, and even though Jaina had seen what had happened to the other town, she couldn't bear to watch Arthas actually, cull the town. This is the culling? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Murder.
Yeah.
Murder, merciful.
All the murder. Uther refused to comply, and Arthas sent the knights away.
So he just did it himself?
Yeah.
Like a one-man murder fest?
Pretty much.
I'm gonna save you all the burden of killing because it gets me off! Is really, really all I'm picking up from that.
I don't know if it got him off yet. Maybe later. Alright, in Stratholme, I forgot to mention also, Arthas was going after the head lieutenant of the Legion in the area, Mal'Ganis.
Okay.
Dreadlord was in charge of making sure all the grain was distributed and all that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. And making sure that there would be more Scourge forces. I can't say that. I can't say... Those two words together are the fucking worst.
Scourge first. Scourge first.
You're backward.
I just vote we call it Scourge first forever now.
That's fine. And then Mal'Ganis escapes, basically saying, like, hey, see you in Northrend. Bye!
Da-da-da! Does like a little, like the Roadrunner, where there's just like a cloud of smoke left where she was.
I am absolutely cool with that headcanon. That's not what happens in the dungeon, but That's not what I'm
I
going to
mean,
see every time
in
I
my
go in there.
experience, it's best not to talk about what happens in the dungeon. And that's 2.
Just this episode. Which is going to turn into 6. By the time I'm done. Okay, so Arthas followed him north, and he ran into his old mentor, Mirrodin.
Ooh, sup, mentor?
Yeah, so Mirrodin and his men were looking for Frostmourne, and even though that wasn't Arthas' goal, he's like, alright, let's go ahead and join you. And while they were looking to find the sword, an emissary was sent from Lordaeron to be like, hey, Arthas, you need to go back home and take your men with you. Like, fucking no.
Get your shit together, Arthas.
Rebellious prince.
It's time for dinner. You should have been home by sundown. Didn't you hear me ringing the bell? Arthas.
I mean, it was a lot longer to travel than that, but yeah. And this is kind of where he starts making some other interesting decisions. His men were making an array for the ships, and then he went and found some mercenaries to burn the ships. And then when his men got there, he turned on the mercenaries and was like, you burned our ships! You need to die! And then they killed all the mercenaries.
I mean, sounds like he's horny for murder to me.
Yeah, I think this is like where it starts happening.
I mean, who's to say it wasn't started when I said so?
It might have. I'm not sure though. I don't have a clear. I'm not Arthas. I didn't meet Arthas. I can't say exactly what he was thinking.
I'm just gonna think I'm right.
Okay, that's fine. Mirrodin and Arthas finally found the cave where Frostmourne was. So it was separate from the throne for whatever reason. I think when it was like coming through the atmosphere and, breaking up and it's burning up on re-entry.
And shrapnel and
exactly.
words.
Ice.
Ice.
So then Mirrodin was the only one who could read it for some whatever fucking reason, and told Arthas, like, hey, no, this sword is cursed, we should not touch it, you should forget your vengeance, your lust for vengeance here, and just go the fuck back home and take care of your people.
Oh, are you filled with vengeance? Here's this sword that has terrible, 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 awesome power. You don't want it. Go away.
This is basically what happened. Yeah.
Sounds super convincing.
Because Arthas is a stubborn bitch. Yeah. And then he asked the spirits that were in the cave to release the sword, because he would give anything or pay any price if only they will help him save his people.
Ooh.
So he's got a good... He's coming from the right place. He's just doing it wrong. He's a Marvel villain.
Like The Road to Hell... And like
paved with good intentions.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that is the story of Arthas.
Come on, Arthas.
It gets worse.
I can't wait. I love kicking people when they're down.
Yep. And then so when the sword was actually released, a rogue shard of ice knocked Mirrodin out.
Oh.
And then Arthas was called by the weapon, dropped his hammer, his holy hammer, and left his friend for dead.
Oh.
And then set off to find Mal'Ganis again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're not surprised. I'm not surprised either.
What a butt.
And then he actually destroyed all of Mal'Ganis' army. And confronted Mal'Ganis again. And Mal'Ganis was like, oh yeah, that voice that you're hearing through the sword? Yeah, that's the Lich King. And you're one of us now.
Ha!
And then this is where Mal'Ganis gets a little bit of surprise. Arthas is like, yeah, and he's telling me to kill your ass.
Ooh, switcheroo, them tables be turning, yo.
Yeah, because Lich King subverting all of the Legion, and then he kills Mal'Ganis.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, it's good. And then this is kind of like when Arthas became the first of the Death Knights. The first of the Lich King's Death Knights.
Specific Death Knights.
Yes, because there was more before.
But
we'll get into that another day.
Death Knight, Death Knight, da-da-da-da-da. That
Oh
sounds
man,
like a
I
great
can't wait
party.
Yeah, that's true. He also killed a lot of his men at this point too, and some of them were raised as fellow Death Knights under his leadership.
Cool.
And he eventually killed Lordaeron. Wait, what did I just say? He eventually returned to Lordaeron.
Okay.
I think that's what I said.
No, you
I
said
think-
killed.
Okay. He eventually returned to Lordaeron.
Okay.
And killed his dad.
Oh,
And set his scourge on the city. And
Scourge Verge!
Yep. Scourge versus... and then ran rampant through the kingdom.
As one does.
He also found out that...
Dick in hand, I hope.
Probably. He also found out that the sword is designed to steal souls, and that the first one it claimed was indeed Arthas himself when he picked it up.
Huh.
Yeah. And then Uther and Arthas finally came to blows, and Uther almost won. Lich King sent Arthas a surge of power, and then Arthas killed Uther.
With that Scourge Verse.
Well, it's just him.
Scourge Verse.
He is the Scourge first at that point.
Exactly. He feels the Scourge Verse.
I swear to God, there has to be a t-shirt at some point. Scourge versus...
If you're interested, let us know.
Please. Arthas then headed north for Quel'Thalas,
Okay.
which was the home of the High Elves.
Oh, yes.
And-
All the best elves are high. Toke.
Oh, shit, I gotta tell you about elves one day. I can't wait to tell you about elves one day. Specifically these elves, because they're different from the Night Elves. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the very little experience I have IRL with World of Warcraft is including the episodes of Community. And, like, when, Chang dresses up as a night elf.
That's okay. First of all, that's D&D. Second of all, that's
Same
a drow.
thing. Also same thing.
No.
Well, that's what popped in my head, so you get the details anyway.
I love that episode of Community, though.
It's a good one. It makes me almost interested in that stuff.
Almost. The key word being almost.
I mean,
if I
get
can
me
just
in
get
a
you a
room,
little bit further.
right? Get me in a room with the right people and like an understanding that I'm gonna be drinking or smoking or something.
Oh, that's fine.
I might be convinced.
I mean, I'd probably be smoking too. It's fine. I probably won't be drinking though, so.
That's okay. I'll drink your portions.
That's totally fine. I'll just kind of pour for you.
Exactly.
But not like I did at my 18th birthday.
Oh my god. Oh god.
I spilled a whole bunch of like cooler all over Bam Bam.
Oh yeah,
when
you
I
know,
turned 18.
like the classic coolers that you get when you just turn 18 and all the rest of your friends are like 16 or 17, you know, the 2 liters of
Oh.
Yup.
I don't even know if they still make this.
I don't think so. I haven't seen them anywhere, like not for a long time, because I used to get a little giggle every time I saw them in the store, but no, it doesn't happen anymore.
Memory.
Bring back Vex. Hashtag bring back Vex.
Maybe not, because I'm pretty sure that would not do very well for me.
Probably not, but I could just drink it in front of you, or you could just keep pouring it on me, and it would be funny.
Alright, let's do it. Or we'll go find some of the new generation of Vex.
Oh,
Whatever.
isn't that For Loco? I hear
have
all
no
kinds
idea.
of stuff about that.
I don't drink anymore. I don't know. Alright. So, back to the story.
Yes.
Arthas did end up getting through to Silvermoon City, but on the way there he met a lot of resistance, specifically from Sylvanas Windrunner,
Okay.
and her forces. And he finally caught up to her, and he killed her, and because of, like, all of her, like, basically not wanting to let him win, he decided to kind of punish her. Instead of just letting her soul be claimed, he twisted it and turned her into a banshee, and then he locked her body up in an iron coffin and then, like, kept that nearby. Just to taunt her.
Damn.
Because, like, when you turn into a scourge, you still have, like, you still have your mind. You're just under the control of the Lich King.
Yeah.
But, like, fuck, that's gotta suck.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some evil shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, banshees are pretty great. I have respect.
Oh, absolutely.
I may or may not have been called a banshee in my life.
I can't wait to tell you more about Sylvanas later. Oh, I'm so excited. That one's coming up, I think, soon. Because, yeah, there's some stuff happening in current game.
Oh boy.
I'm waiting for a little bit more of it to be fleshed out, because I'm scared of how it's gonna go, and we don't have any, like, substantial clues. Sorry, no, we have substantial clues. We don't have anything confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot that they could do with it. I'm like, ah. Alright, so he did join the Legion in Kalimdor to undermine their plans, and also told Illidan how he could also undermine the Legion, so they were kind of, not buddy-buddy, but like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to do that too, here's how you can do it.
Your enemy is my enemy, well, let's be friends. Acquaintances who help each other do shit.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, that one. And then he went back to Lordaeron to get rid of the few remaining humans in the kingdom.
Get rid of them all. Humans are the fucking worst.
We're humans.
I stand by my point.
Okay. And then he scared off the Dreadlords that were just kind of left there to oversee the kind of happenings happening in that kingdom. And this was around the time the Lich King's powers got subverted by the ritual that we talked about last time, that Illidan did.
Oh, yes.
And Sylvanas was able to break free of the Lich King's mind slavery. She met with the Dreadlords secretly, and they planned to assassinate Arthas since he also had less power.
Cool.
Yeah. So first they ambushed him in the city, and he ran off with the few loyalists he could find. And Sylvanas' banshees came to escort him to safety, or so they said. While that was happening, Sylvanas was able to get her body back.
Snap.
Yep. The cool thing about this is she still kept her banshee powers.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And then she popped out in the forest, shooting him with an arrow, and ultimately got chased off before she could actually kill Arthas.
God damn it.
I know. And then the Lich King then instructed Arthas to go back to Northrend because the throne was under attack.
Whoa!
And then we're going to do a little bit more time travel here because there's a whole bunch more stuff that I want to go into, again, in future episodes because there's more... It gets complicated. And we're going to time warp to when Arthas gets to the throne itself.
Ooh.
He meets up with Illidan again. I can't talk.
Deep breath. Red leather, yellow leather.
He meets up with Illidan again, who is attacking some of the Scourge monuments. And he finally does make it to the ice. Oh yeah. Then they duel, and Arthas almost dies, and he slashes Illidan.
I mean, how many times can this guy almost die? Is his name Rasputin? Am I right, ladies?
I think Rasputin. I think that would be Xavius. I think.
Okay.
We're shrugging at each other. What great audio. Shrug.
I know, right? There needs to be, like, a sound effect for shrugging.
We're not a cartoon.
I'll focus on my inner Tim the Toolman Taylor.
That was really good. That was really good. That was a little scary good. Alright. He finally does make it to the ice spire where the frozen throne is at the top and makes his way up.
Oh!
And then he does come to the throne, which has the full armor. And, yeah, so then he takes Frostborn, smashes the ice that is holding the armor, picks up the helm, and puts it on.
Oh,
and
snap.
merges with ner'zhul to become the one personality of the Lich King.
Oh, snap.
Yep. So,
That's some, like, eternal marriage shit. I hope they like each other. Bonded together like that.
There's more. This was all in the lead up to World of Warcraft and through the Warcraft 3 campaigns, as well as the book about Arthas. And the Lich King is relatively silent, aside from just keeping his army going throughout Azeroth.
Okay.
At that point. But what does this have to do with now?
What does that have to do with now?
Well, you probably guessed.
We have to check the auction house first?
Fuck yeah! That was a high five.
Woo! I'm learning my cues, guys!
Yeah! Cues!
If you like what we do, consider donating through our Patreon at patreon.com/senppaiandbambam. That's senpai with 2 P's.
Yes.
If you're unable to do that, we would also appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts or any other podcast service that you use. It helps us open up to a wider audience. You can also share us with your friends, family, guildies, whoever. We need more friends, guys. Just get people to listen.
We need more friends. If you want to get in touch with us over on Discord, there will be a link in the show notes to join that. It is open to everyone with a patron-only section.
That's right. Secret special patron only. Wink, wink. You can also email us at senppaiandbambam@gmail.com. That's senpai with 2 P's. And we'll find a place to answer your questions.
Also, I haven't announced it yet on YouTube, which I will be doing soon, but we're going to be doing something for Patreon.
Heckin' yeah, we are.
I'm going to make Bam Bam sit through a whole bunch of old machinima.
I'm so excited.
I look so excited.
Downloaded a thingy onto my laptop so we can do it.
Yeah, it's basically going to be reaction videos, but with a whole bunch of machinima. If you have any machinima that you want me to show Bam Bam, if it's not already on my list of things to show Bam Bam, I will absolutely add it. Send me an email over at senppaiandbambam@gmail.com, or you can even link it to me in Discord. Whatever. It's gonna be. I have a huge list. Oh, I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. What are they gonna scar my eyes with next?
So much shit. Actually, most of it's pretty okay.
And it's gonna happen at my apartment, which is good. So I'll be able to take like some nice bong rips beforehand. So it'll be nice. You have to see it. It's colorful and swirly and pretty.
Ooh. I find bongs are hard on me.
That's the opposite. I find them so much less harsh. If you're only doing like single hoot sizes instead of like packing a whole bowl and assuming that you're gonna know when to stop. Works pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Ow, my ear. Alright, so now normally the now part is usually everything that's right now in Battle for Azeroth.
Normally now means now, but today now means later.
It means earlier.
It means a time other than now.
Yeah. It would leave me with a lot it wouldn't leave me with a lot that I could actually put in this episode.
Oh, fair. So we're just kind of moving forward in time to close to now.
But not
earlier.
close to now. We're going to the Wrath of the Lich King, which is way back in 2008.
Holy fuck.
Which was 4 years after WoW was released, but only 2 years in canon game time. So I'm really sorry for anybody else who feels really old on that. That's 11 years ago.
Oh, I know. You said 2008, and I was like, oh my god, so like when we were first becoming friends?
That was when I graduated. So it was after that.
Fine.
Fuck, I graduated high school in 2008.
I didn't. I'm still young.
Yeah, you'll get there. You youngin'. Back in bad days. The Scourge has been quietly making a comeback in the time of the Wrath of the Lich King. In the pre-patch event leading up to the expansion, we got a zombie plague invasion. Okay. Which I think you would have loved.
Really?
This was when players could become infected with a zombie virus that would eventually turn them into a zombie.
Oh, snap.
And then we could play as a zombie trying to infect other people.
Oh my god, yeah, that actually sounds pretty good.
It was so good. And so yeah, you had to...
I'll fuck all you up. I'm gonna bite everybody. Just a little nibble from everything.
I was also
It'll be like me at a buffet, you know? Just like take a bite out of everything.
Exactly. That's basically how this went. Especially in my guild. My guild was mean. Once the actual expansion hit, we head out to Northrend to fight the Lich King's forces. We also get sent back to the Calling of Stratholme and play through the dungeon. Not the same dungeon.
Eyebrows.
Stop raising your eyebrows.
Eyebrows.
Such great audio. Eyebrow lift.
Hey, again, if sound effects. Twink, twink, twink. Comment somewhere and let me know if those sound effects sound like eyebrows, and I'll use them in the future. Okay, thanks.
Oh, shit. I swear to God, if we ever get into, like, animation and that's not the sound effect from the eyebrow lift, I'm gonna, like, cry.
I will do my best to use that. I will become my own sound effect machine to make up for the fact that my beautiful and amazing facial expressions are lost in this medium.
We'll have to, like, get a soundboard, I think, eventually.
Yes! Oh, yeah, I could be one of those douches on the radio.
I mean, that's what we're doing. It's a podcast.
Dab, dab. Yeah. It's gonna be good.
She just physically dabbed.
Well, yeah, I'm trying this new thing where I sound effect my movements.
It's great. I love it. Anyways, Alliance players also get flashback scenes to Arthas' mission with Mirrodin to find Frostmourne. And there's also a point where we can play through as Arthas when he's killing his own men and when he duels Illidan.
In case you just want to feel what it feels like to murder your people who trust you.
Right? We also got our first hero class in World of Warcraft, the Death Knights.
Ooh.
Which I played one for a very long time.
The other Death Knights?
Well, because they're basically like dead and unholy paladins.
Okay. Sweet.
Except almost everybody can be a Death Knight, and like only I think 2 races at the time could be a paladin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
that
now they've added
little,
a whole bunch
racially
more.
Exclusionary.
It makes sense lore-wise. I'll have to explain that another day, though. And I will go further into the Death Knights in a future episode, because that is so much fun. But by the time Arthas is Lich King, he has his eyes set on his old kingdom, and he starts raising pretty much anything he can into a Death Knight, which is kind of where they come from.
You're a Death Knight. You're a Death Knight. You're a Death Knight. Kitty cat Death Knight. Puppy dog Death Knight.
Pretty much.
Moo cow Death Knight. Death Knight.
There are Tauren Death Knights.
Sweet.
She looks so happy. Like, just that self-satisfied grin. I love it. But that's where you start as a player, as a Knight of the Ebon Blade.
Cool.
So it's the order of Death Knights that, at the time, followed Arthas.
Cool.
Newly raised Death Knights, under Arthas' rule, do some very evil things, which we'll get into later. And we encounter some of the forces that we later see as bosses in Naxxramas.
Okay.
Yep. And we're kind of all working together at that point.
We're all in this together.
Except then the Death Knights finally break free from Arthas' hold, from the Lich King's hold, really. Finally able to join the Horde or Alliance, very similarly to how the Forsaken broke their hold of the Lich King. Aside from the fact that they're actually welcomed back to their factions, for the most part. At least from the, like, head leaders.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so, like, the King of Stormwind.
But, I mean, they're not called the Forsaken, so.
Yeah. The King of Stormwind welcomes them back, as well as the War Chief and Orgrimmar.
Awesome. It's so heartwarming.
Yeah. Also kind of, like, really shitty for the Forsaken, eh?
I mean, they should have thought better. You know, it's their own fault for being Forsaken. Right?
No,
I
they're
know.
called Forsaken because of...
It just shows that as time goes on and we go through things more than once, people have the ability to change for the better.
That's true.
Perhaps.
I wish it worked out better for them. Which we'll talk about that.
Don't we all?
Yeah. We'll talk about that later, because that has stuff for the current game too, but that's going to be a whole different episode.
You hear that, guys? There's going to be tons of these.
Tons. I have so much. Alright, so, in Northrend, we come upon Agrathar the Wrathgate, which is a huge wall between Icecrown and Dragonblight.
Okay.
And it's the first major confrontation we have with the Lich King himself.
Yes.
Yeah. And I showed you the remastered video of
Yes.
it that someone made. That They did such a good job.
Right? It was very visually stunning.
Yeah. So this is when the rogue Forsaken forces pelt the Lich King and everyone in the area with their own plague that they made to counteract any of the Scourge's powers.
Right? Take that, motherfucker!
Yep. And it almost worked. And then Arthas fucking walks away. And then the Red Dragonflight comes in and roasts everything with fire.
Yep.
Which is the only way to get rid of the plague.
Destroy it!
Yeah. 2 important things happen at the Wrathgate. First, an orc named Draenosh Sourfang goes up against Lich King and dies.
Yep.
And then he later gets reanimated into a Death Knight.
Okay.
And also a boss in the raid. Second, the Alliance commander and paladin named Bolvar Fordragon doesn't die.
Yes.
But he gets roasted by the flames
Dragonfire.
of the red dragonfire. So the thing with the red dragonfly is that their purpose is to give life.
Okay.
So by killing him, quote unquote, killing him with fire, they didn't kill him with
Okay.
fire. They just kind of left him a charred corpse thing. I don't even know what to call him. But yeah. Okay, yeah. So he later gets captured by the Lich King, but no one actually knew that until way later.
Okay.
When we actually go into Icecrown Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first raid of the Wrath of the Lich King was Naxxramas. There's no official story as to how the bosses actually survived the original vanilla raid,
Yeah.
and then, came back for Wrath. I'm just going to assume that he re-raised them. Alongside Icecrown Citadel raid came 3 5-man dungeons that are also connected to the Citadel.
Nice.
The Forge of Souls is the first in timeline, basically just a test against Scourge. And then the next one is the Pit of Sauron, where the Horde follows Sylvanas' orders to confront the Scourge. And then the Alliance followed Jaina's forces. And this is where we see, like, them actually mining the blood of the Old God.
Okay.
To actually make all of their
metal.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, they're metal. They're congealed blood metal. Super metal. Yo. Yeah.
Metal.
I need to also point out, she's doing air guitar when she does that.
Again, I'm just making sound effects to match the body movements
I need to,
I do.
get a video of you just doing the air guitar, because it's great. And then finally, the Halls of Reflection it's the private chambers of the Lich King that he's made in his citadel, and it's the only place where he really lets his guard down, so he doesn't feel bad putting Frostmarm just, like, in the room there.
Yeah.
And then we confront him in there, and then we have to run away and escape the instance, and that's how we win that instance. In terms of current playthrough for time walking, when we get time walking, we get to go into Pit of Sauron.
Okay.
And we get dropped down to level 80 and play through.
That's exciting.
She's stretching. Alright, so finally the Icecrown Citadel raid. We deal with the last of the Lich King's forces, and we hear Bolvar screaming.
Screaming!
Yeah, and this is when we find out that Bolvar was alive the entire time!
Alive and screaming!
Since the Wrathgate. We finally get up to the Frozen Throne where the Lich King sits, and Bolvar's, like, body is being, like, hung, like, spread eagle above the throne.
Oh, shit.
And he's, like, all charred and shit. Yeah. And then, so then we fight the Lich King, and then this is when he tells us his plan. Basically, everything that he set before us was a test. If we beat that test, then we were worthy to become his subordinates now. He was gonna raise us all as Scourge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, our good buddy Paladin that's helping us, who I haven't mentioned by name for reasons, he breaks free of his trap, and he races us all on his side again instead, and then we kill Arthas.
Oh!
Finally. And then I showed you the death cinematic of Arthas dying.
Yes.
This is the cutscene where King Tyrannus finally, helps Arthas pass on.
Yes!
It's all sweet and stuff. And then Bolvar tells us that there must always be a Lich King.
Yep.
And he dons the Helm of Domination himself.
Such self-sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah, so he sits on the throne as the Lich King. I do want to go more into Bolvar, but there's so much more since then that I'm going to leave it for another episode.
You hear that, Bolvar? We're coming for you.
Yeah, he deserves his own episode. But the Lich King does come back in Legion as part of the Death Knight campaign against the Legion.
Okay.
And that's when all the Death Knights are, like, working together, Horde and Alliance. And there's some tinfoil hat stuff that I can definitely get into.
Ooh.
Which is, that'll be super fun. As for Arthas himself, he still seems to be on the minds of a few characters, which we've seen in Warbringers. I don't think I've actually shown you these ones, but we've seen it in Jaina as well as Sylvanas' Warbringers.
Yep.
And it's kind of haunting.
Oh.
And we've also seen something as recently as Battle for Azeroth with Jaina.
Okay.
So, can't wait to talk to you about that.
Woo!
So now let's head back into trivia.
Trivia!
So the pre-patch event, the play leading up to Wrath, was a callback to the Corrupted Blood incident, which I'm not sure if you've heard of.
No.
This is actually pretty famous because, I haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, but it was something that was actually used to study epidemics in the real world by the WHO. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because, basically there were people trying to heal it.
Yeah.
There were people just running away from it.
Yeah.
There were people just, not going to the city. It was great.
Yeah.
And then Sawbones did an episode on it, which
really?
I did link in Discord.
Nice.
I loved it. It was great, because, he's played WoW,
Oh, perfect.
and she's just like, yeah, cool.
Oh, so she's me.
Yeah. But she knows all the medical shit, so it's great. And then in the Ruins of Lordaeron, if you have your ambient sound turned up, you can actually hear King Tyrannus getting confused of, Arthas, why the fuck are you here when he kills him?
Oh!
Yep. We know Sylvanas took up leadership of the Forsaken and took over Lordaeron, building the Undercity and the catacombs below the city. Also, the Halls of Reflection bear striking resemblance to the throne room, especially in Lordaeron.
Oh.
I mentioned this stuff to a friend just because I was like, oh, this is interesting. And he's like, well, isn't that just because they reskinned stuff?
Right, yeah, that was my thought. It was just, like, lazy animating.
Well, and it could be, but I don't think so. I think this is actually proof. There's a couple other things that Arthas does kind of in his reign as Lich King that I think that even though he's lost his sanity, it still proves that he's in there somewhere.
Maybe.
Because another thing that happened is his horse died.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did basically was race his horse. So,
Aww.
yeah, and then he's the one who actually built the Citadel.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it was a lazy thing. I think Arthas is there somewhere.
Oh.
Also, Frostmourne replicas exist. I don't have one, but I want one. I want to cut pizza with it. Some friends of mine have used it to cut food. And at the end of December 2018, MacLeod released the Wrathgate Cinematic Remastered, which is the one I showed you.
Ooh.
He went shot for shot and remastered it, and that's going to be the last one for a while because that's a lot of work, which is totally understandable. MacLeod, I love you. And furthering the Anakin Skywalker similarities of Arthas, we have now seen him rise as a Paladin of the Light, fall and rise as a Dark Lord, and then die again.
I would argue that it isn't just an Anakin similarity, but a common trope.
Oh, definitely. But I specifically need to mention Anakin because I'm a Star Wars nerd.
Fair enough.
Fight with a lightsaber. I have to. Come on.
Ooh!
What?
I go to the poi night at Tuesday nights in the park, like the fire poi, when everybody kind of goes and spins stuff and whatever. And this one person had these things, and it kind of looked almost like two violin bows kind of like glued back to back together, and if you'd swing it through the air the right way, the air would like vibrate against the gut, and like it would make it sound like they had two and they were doing like the swirly whirls, and if you like swipe it through the air the right way, it totally makes like lightsabery type noises. It was super cool.
Okay, if my anxiety decides to like cooperate with me, I want to go to those with you.
Right? I'm not going this week.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think my anxiety's good today.
But yeah, and they aren't there all the time, but that, like, I don't know, it was like this one magical moment of like,
that's so cool.
You know,
I can also bring my lightsaber.
You totally could. Yeah, that's the whole point. I go with my hoops.
I love light painting with lightsabers too. It's so much fun. Anyways, okay, back to other nerdery. One of the bosses in Nax is a callback to the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Yes.
Because they're the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
But one's a lady.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Also, the Nax Ramus itself is in an Overwatch map called Blizzard World.
Oh, cool.
And it's a restaurant called Snacks Ramus. I had to mention that because it was the fucking greatest fun. And then one of my favorite bosses in Ice Crown Citadel, Professor Putricide, is basically Professor Farnsworth.
Oh, yes.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah.
And he's voiced by Dino Andrade, who's the voice of the gnomes.
Ooh.
Yeah, who I've mentioned before.
Gnomers.
But yeah, so check us out on Discord. Patreon stuff for the machinima.
Yeah. Comment.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of suggestions for machinima, suggestions for sound effects, whether you like my eyebrow tweaks. Can you hear my eyebrows moving when I make that noise? I need to know. This is the most important one. That one's the top of the list, and then the machinima, okay? Like, are we clear? Cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. We also need one for shrug. I mean, I just usually say shrug. But yeah, so...
We would like to thank the Winnipeg Public Library. We record at the Millennium Library in their beautiful Idea Mill Makerspace, and they house us even if we forget to book and show up, just being like, what? We can't record?
Yeah, that was bad. I'm sorry. Our intro and outro music is by Kevin MacLeod, and you can find all of his stuff on his website, incompetech.com.
Our wonderful artwork is by our good friend Ben Hoffer. His Instagram is ScorpioSuka7 if you would like to check out more of his work.
Yeah, and we'll have links to everything in the show notes.
Show notes!
And then we'll see you... Well, we'll probably see you this month on Patreon. No, because... Okay, the plan is to start filming it in September, which is this month, and then release it starting in October. So we'll see you next month on Patreon. We'll see you next month for a new episode of this lovely show that we make.
Heck yeah, best show ever.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's one of my favorites anyway. That's not me, like, trying to stroke my ego. That I actually really like this show.
Of course, you're supposed to like the things that you create. If you don't like it, what's the point?
That's true.
See you next time.
Yeah, so we'll notice you next time.
Bye.